Welcome to Everyday Simple Somatics, a podcast dedicated to helping you find healing through your body's natural wisdom. I'm Dr. Christine Baker, and I'll be your host. So the topic that we're going to talk about today and over the next handful of weeks has been requested over and over again since I launched this podcast, and that is the Enneagram and somatics. And I get it. Like so many of you are familiar with the Enneagram as a personality typing system, and you're curious about how it connects to the body-based work that I talk about a lot on the podcast. You know, how does your Enneagram type show up in your nervous system? Are there certain patterns to look for? All of those great kinds of questions. And I'll be honest, I wanted to make sure I could do the topic justice, which is why I waited until I could bring on an expert. So over the next several weeks, we are going to explore each Enneagram type through a somatic lens. So not just understanding how that Enneagram affects our personality, but how it affects our bodies as well. And most importantly, how understanding all of that can support our healing journey. And so I am thrilled to be finally diving into this topic with someone who has the training and expertise to guide us through that well. And so I am thrilled to introduce you to today's guest and the guest for the next handful of weeks, Meagan Connley. Meagan is a integrative somatic practitioner and the founder of Presence with Love. She has extensive training in body-based healing. She's completed multiple trainings with Marion Gilbert, who created the Somatic Enneagram. She's trained in somatic experiencing. She's a certified yin yoga teacher. She does breath work. Oh, so many different trainings working with the somatics of trauma recovery. And I think that she has such a depth of understanding of how our personality patterns and our nervous systems and our bodies are all interconnected. And honestly, what really drew me to Meagan, just like digging through her website, is how her own healing journey has led her to this work. She shares on her website she spent years living in patterns that felt totally normal, but left her feeling really disconnected. And so through somatic work, breath work, movement, body awareness, she really discovered what she was seeking, which is just the ability to be present. And now she really helps others on that journey. So Meagan, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. As you were talking about the Somatic Enneagram, I could feel tingles in my body and just so much excitement to be talking with you about this.
I love that. Well, I think that is a great transition to our first question. So what drew you personally to study the Enneagram? I guess the Enneagram in general, and then also through a somatic lens.
Yeah. So 7 or so years ago, I was really kind of at a low point in my mental health, emotional, physical health, lots of gut health stuff coming up. Wasn't sleeping well, all kinds of different things. Eating disorder was really strong. And I started seeking help. This cannot be how I'm supposed to be living my life. This cannot be the way, not be how I wake up every day. And started just seeing what was out there. And I knew nothing about the Enneagram, had no idea what it was, and saw there was a workshop right up the road from me. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but it sounds cool. So I'm going to try it out. And
I love it.
I was kind of hooked from there.
That's awesome. And then how did you start to dance over into the somatic side of the Enneagram?
Yeah. So I had been doing different healing stuff for a couple of years, and my physical health symptoms had improved a bit. But I kind of got to a point where it was like, no matter what supplement I take, no matter what diet I have, no matter what I'm doing, I'm at a plateau. And someone was like, I think this might be nervous system related. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but I'll see.
Yes.
And yeah, that's where it led me.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so jumping into the basics. So for listeners who may be new to the Enneagram, can you give us kind of a brief overview what the Enneagram is and why it's become this like really popular, powerful tool for understanding yourself?
Yeah. So the Enneagram is a psycho-spiritual tool. The symbol itself is really ancient, and over time, different people have kind of adapted it with different things. The personality structure, the like typing, the naming, and all of that convention came kind of like more recently, 1950s, 1970s. And what it's really looking at is there are 9 different types of patterns. So our ego structure, our sense of self, our identity of who we think that we are, tends to fall into one of these 9 patterns. And it really is highlighting how we're thinking, how we're feeling emotionally, how we're behaving. It's a whole person, whole system kind of
Mm.
framework. And I think it's really caught on for me, like something I've seen with other folks when I share it is, oh my gosh, it's so true. It's so real. How does it know
Yes.
me?
Yes.
It's so getting at these things that I've experienced, but I haven't put it all together.
Mhm.
And sometimes that feels really relieving. And sometimes it also feels really painful.
Yeah.
And it's really then saying, here you go. Like, here's what we can do now that we see it.
Yes, I love that. I remember I went to like an Enneagram training. I think Suzanne Stabile had hosted it maybe. And I remember her saying like there are some other personality typing systems that kind of feel a bit more here's your type and now live with it versus, she talked about the Enneagram being one that's like, okay, here's your type and here's how we like move towards health in that type. Like that there's such a hopeful side to the Enneagram versus like a here you are now, good luck, So I appreciate that about it so much. Okay, so I've kind of used both of these phrases even in our intro time, and I'd love to just give a second to like distinguish between the two. So there's the Somatic Enneagram, which was like created Marion Gilbert. And then there's this idea of like working with the Enneagram somatically. And so could you kind of give us, just so we can get the vocab right, like what do each of those mean?
Yeah. So when I think about like capital S, capital E, Somatic Enneagram, I'm thinking of Marion. So her website, her framework, her teaching, she has 5 different modules and she's teaching this all over the world. I've heard potentially there might be a book in the works, so we'll see if that
Ooh.
comes out. And her framework is really her experience as a body worker. She trained with Peter Levine
Mm,
years and years ago. She has a lot of different trainings, experiences, and background that she's putting together and teaching her framework. And when you go to her trainings, she's really not teaching you the Enneagram.
mm,
She is asking that you come in with some other foundational Enneagram training.
okay.
And then we're really going to go into how does this show up in each of the types.
Okay.
One of the big things that she works with is the defense mechanism. And she's
Mm-hmm.
also kind of working with it more spiritually. So not trauma resolution modality, but spiritual evolution. What does it mean to have an ego? How do I be a human? And,
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of thing. For me, I'm working more somatically with the Enneagram. I'm bringing in some of the things I've learned from Marion, but then things I've learned in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. I love that. Very cool. So you brought up one of the primary things in Marion's work is the defense mechanisms that show up for the types. Can you give us, I know we're going to get into it more with each type, but can you give us kind of a high level understanding of what that means?
Yeah. So with each type, we tend to have something that we are idealizing, something we desire, something we want to go toward. I want to be like this. And
Mm,
we have something we avoid, something we fear, something we deny. I don't want to be like this. And the defense mechanism is kind of what keeps that in place. It keeps me
okay.
seeking this way and avoiding that thing. And it
Okay.
keeps that loop kind of running. It keeps our type structure going. And
Okay.
the defense mechanism, Marion really works with that in the body. Like, how does that show up in your body?
So cool. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited about specifically my number episode, but all of them really. Okay, so Marion also talks about, and you also mentioned kind of in our communication back and forth, there's these 3 centers. So there's the body, the heart, and the head center. Could you talk a little bit about what that means?
Yeah. So the centers are how we're kind of taking in and processing information. So
Mm-hmm.
we all have all 3 centers. We all have these parts of us that are processing information. And if we think about it in physiological terms, like we actually have neurons in our gut, we actually have neurons in our heart, we actually have neurons, obviously, in our brain. We have different parts of our brain, the limbic system, the reptilian brainstem area, the frontal neocortex. So we have all these parts of our brain, we have all these parts of our body.
Yeah.
But what's happening with the Enneagram points out is we tend to get stuck or fixated or overuse certain areas. So
Okay.
types 8, 9, and 1 fall in that body center, 2, 3, and 4 are in heart center, and 5, 6, and 7 are in the head center.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, this wasn't in my original question. So if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But one thought that comes up for me is, you mentioned that Marion's work is a bit more like the spiritual side. of the Enneagram, you obviously have a lot of training in trauma resolution and trauma therapy, trauma work. I'm curious if you could speak to kind of the differences when it comes to working with the Enneagram in those two places.
Yeah, I think high level, I would say like with trauma, we can have any of these responses, right? Like fight,
Yeah.
flight, or freeze could be impacted, and everyone could be experiencing this. And
Yeah.
then once we kind of move through some of those, then we start to see the patterns that were probably always there, or the ways that we might tend
Um,
toward one or the other.
Yes, that's helpful. Okay, awesome. Okay, so if someone is like new to the Enneagram, they're trying to discover their Enneagram type, how can paying attention to their body help them in that process? What could they be kind of looking for?
Yeah. I think for anyone, starting to pay
Mhm.
attention to our body can be difficult if we haven't done it before. Like starting to
Yes.
tune into sensation might be new and weird and different. Generally, I think the body types have a little bit more access to that. Like it's just something they're a little bit more aware of and something that they might already be tuning into in some ways, even if it's just like, I feel tired or hungry or something in that realm. I think starting to tune into where your attention goes mentally, but then how does that show up in the body? Are you leaving your body? Are you showing up more in your body? Are
Mm,
you trying to run away from things? Noticing tension patterns. Where am I holding, bracing in certain ways?
mm,
And for me, one of the big ways that I like to work with the Enneagram somatically is with emotions. So, what's
mm.
happening in my body with certain emotions? Which emotions
Yeah.
am I experiencing? Which ones am I not experiencing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really neat. Okay, so that's like if someone is new to the Enneagram, they're trying to figure out their number. Once someone kind of has a good gist of what their Enneagram type is, how can understanding the somatic component help them on their healing journey?
Yeah. So for me, the Enneagram, and it's a circle. It's
Yes.
really all about wholeness. And when we think about the definition of healing, it's wholeness,
Yes.
integrity. Like how do I bring all of these parts back together? That is what healing is. And the Enneagram is showing us where we tend to split. I'm gonna again go towards
Mm,
something and away from something. So I'm
mm,
creating this duality in myself. I'm creating separation. I'm creating something not being included. And when we can start to work with the thing that we don't want to work with through our body
uh-huh.
brings us healing. That is healing. I'm going to go toward the thing that I would normally not go toward.
Oh, I love that. It also just makes me think like, one of the biggest gifts for me as after becoming an SEP, like doing the somatic experiencing training has just been to like learn what a resource my body is to me and how like it gives me more capacity to do hard things. Whereas, before doing this work, I probably saw my body as more of a what would be the word, like liability almost, like it makes it more difficult. But now seeing it as a resource, then it's like, okay, I have more capacity to move towards, like you said, the things that I avoid. So yeah, I love that. That's really neat. Okay, so, we do try to keep these episodes a little brief. And so, as we kind of are wrapping this one up and getting ready to move into episodes, exploring each individual type, I wonder what you would say you would encourage listeners to be paying attention to in their own bodies as we go through each of the types.
Yeah. So as we move through this, you might start to notice which type, if you don't know your type and you're kind of listening and exploring, or if you have some ideas of what it might be, which one feels kind of ouchy and uh, or maybe you even like disconnect from it because you so don't want to hear it. Like your
Mhm,
body can't even stand to receive some of these things. Or
mm.
it's like, oh, that's kind of funny, huh? It's true. And now I'm like nervous sweating or something. Like what are you noticing a response to in your
Yeah.
body? And that could look a lot of different ways. Some of them might just feel a little more neutral. Maybe you
Mm.
get a little more confused or you have questions or you're curious, but seeing where our body really has some kind of response.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. Goodness, Megan, this was such a great intro to this series that we're doing. I'm so incredibly grateful that you have decided to join us here and dedicated so much of your time both in preparation and in the recording of these episodes. And so I'd love to give you a second to just speak a little bit about your offerings, how you like to support people or if people want to work with you, where you might direct them.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I'll say too is if you don't know your type, maybe going through this series will help. And if you're still unsure, working with a trained kind of professional in the Enneagram is really helpful. There are tests out there, but they're only about 50% accurate. And
Mm,
when you take a test, it doesn't always give you a lot of information. It might
yeah.
say, oh, you're a 4. And then it's like, cool, what do I do with that? And how do I know if it's real? And what does that
Yes.
mean? So, self studying, working with someone trained and embodied in the Enneagram, or doing some kind of deeper training program. A lot of my initial foundational training was through a program called Enneagram Prison Project, which I
Mm,
really recommend. They do a really good job of teaching the Enneagram. So, if you don't know your type, those are some options there.
mm,
For working with me, I have a program for finding your type where I have a 3-hour pre recorded video. You move through it at your own pace with different worksheets and reflection.
mm,
And you get to kind of start to self identify and start to see, oh, I do that. Oh, yep,
mm.
there it is. And then we talk for 75 minutes and
Yeah.
kind of debrief about your experience, see what's coming up in your body with that. So I'm going to offer to your audience a little discount on that, $50 off if anyone is
Awesome.
interested. Definitely feel free to reach out. So you can find me at presencewithlove.com, presence with CE, not TS. Presence with Love. And on Instagram at Meagan Connley. I have an extra A in my name, and send me an email or note or message.
I love it. And all of this will be included in the show notes as well. So you didn't have to be grabbing your pen and writing it down. We'll definitely have it for you there. But thank you so much. We will be jumping into the number 8 next week, type 8. And so we will look forward to being with you then. And as we close, I just want to remind everyone your body has innate wisdom. All we have to do is learn how to listen to it. And that's what I'm here for. I'll see you next time.